In this tutorial, you will see how to create basic number guessing game using model view controller model. So I would like to show you how the program will looks like. So we'll have a displayed the title, game rules, press the button for larger number and you will earn a point. If you get it wrong, you will lose a point, earn 5 points to win the game. So we will press 7, 9, we press on larger number, get a point and toast message correct. And then you will have 88, 59, we'll press the smaller number, we will lose a point. So we have to earn 5 points to win the game. So since toast message has some delay, so you have to understand that it requires some time to process the result. The result you win the game will be the variant. First of all, we will start with view. And by default, we have hello world. So probably we'll switch to design and using the same constraint layout and the same text view, we will move this to the higher section. So we will delete this constraint, and then we'll be able to move the element in upper level and change the text to number guessing game. So how to do it properly? So we have to create the constant, string constant for this. So if you go to the values, go to the string, and we'll create here string with the name app title, and we'll write the title number guessing game. So we go back to main activity, close this file, and by pressing this element we will find the text view property text, press on pick a resource, 3 dots, so wait for resource. So in resource we will be able to find the application title and press OK. We may need to adjust the size. Instead of 14 scalable pixels, we can go with maybe 30. Yeah, and probably a little bit to adjust on the top level. So you can play with this, make it bold, and maybe set the text color, whatever you like. Maybe color primary dark. Number guessing game. Another text view will be below the title. So let's drag and drop another text view. Will be just a little bit below. So what it is, so let's make ID for this text view. I don't know if you need it. We can change ID here to make it text rules, just for clarity. And create another text strings variable. I'll create here string variable with the name app rules. And insert the rules for the game. This is just a string that you want to have. It's a bit long string, maybe need some adjustment. And connect text view content using this 3 dots with a pick a resource, and connect app rules. Press OK. So in this case, you see the text will take the whole space. So we'll do some adjustment here. and make text size maybe a little bit larger. So one more text view we need in the bottom area to display number of points. So I'll drag and drop here, and ID will be number of points, and initially number of points is 0, so we can create a string variable with the number of points. String name points. Let's make it simple. Points 0. So this is initial value for the string. So that's a good idea to make it displayed by default. F point 0. You definitely need it bigger, maybe clarity 24. So number of points could be bold and any color you like. And we have to move 2 more elements from widget area, just simple buttons. So one button will be somewhere here, and another button will be on the right side. So we'll set constraints with left and right for those buttons. And finally, we need to change the button text, so the button will generate a number on the button title. So basically, by default, the first button will have a 0, and the second button has also 0. It's a good idea to change button ID. Button ID 1 will have ID button left, button L, and the right button will have ID button R. Instead of button 1, 2, it will be better to use these numbers. So before finishing with view, I would probably press Infer Constraints button, and this will guarantee that elements will be constrained against each other. And let's run our view. Of course, there's no any functionality yet. We implementing only view in this stage, and then next will be implementing model. So let's check. So install an APK. So we have a layout as we expected. You have a title, game rules, and 2 buttons. So we're going to switch to Java side, and so far we have main activity. So we did not change main activity yet. So this is just basic main activity that will be serving controller. This activity will be serving as controller for our class. So you have to start with the model. So for this purpose, I create new Java class. Right click, new Java class, and let's make this class as data model class, because this class will be supplied with data and some behavior. What kind of class is this? Just simply a regular class. Okay. So what this class would have, so we have 2 numbers, private int num1 and private int num2. So basically we will generate numbers 1 and 2, and we have private int answer. The answer will be just the number that the largest in this model. Let's create constructor for this class. Code generate constructor. So we'll create a random variable, new random class from Java util. Variable will take the next random number, next int, and you can do it in the bound, right? In the bound, random dot next int, and int bound will be 10. Will be absolutely identical with the second number. And the answer will give you the largest number from these two. I include here this num and this num2. So basically we finish with the construction model. So model will be pretty simple. So what else we need? We need to set every time we need to set new num, and we need to change answer every time as well. So we need a setter for this code. So how to do it? Code generate setter. So we would probably setter for all of them. So for the set of the num, we will do the same. So in this case, randomization will be moved to the class level. Then we will do the same settings for the second number and for the answer as well. Semicolon here and to set for the answer. Since we will be operating with numbers and answer in our controller, we probably need to get those values. So we will go and generate getters for all these three pieces. And I believe we don't need to change them because we agree with default implementation. So we're done with the model. So it looks like we did everything what we need for our modeling calculations, and now we're going to move to controller. Okay, so for controller, we will move into main activity, and we first of all we have to work with two buttons. So let's create in controller, which has a main activity name, two button references, button Alt Enter, button L, and one button will be button right. So in onCreate method, we want to initialize button with the random numbers. So first of all, we have to call our data model constructor. So we can create constructor by creating an object of data model, data model new data model. And then we need to create buttons, actually access buttons, and change the text. So the ideally you have to call find view by ID. First of all, we will be looking for button left. So this button should be assigned to the class variable buttonL. I'm going to change the buttonL text. You will be setting text. The setting text will be with the data model that we just set up in the model level. So I'm just made clear. So we want model will be used for using get number one. So basically we will get number one from model and assign to text. And so what we have the error here, create constructor. Well, we have to probably create default constructor here, since we do not have to use a constructor with parameters. Simply to do the sections by default, and in this case we don't need to supply this data every time. And to do the same with right button, button R, and set up button R as set text model dot get num2. Let's run this right now. So first of all, make sure there are no errors here. So application trying to install and immediately crash. So the number guessing has stopped. So basically we have to fix one error. So if you press Alt 6, you will see in logcat window you will see your error. An error happened in the main activity Java 19. So basically when we set text, right? So what it's saying here that we unable to stop activity is obviously string resource ID not found. So string resource ID means set text required to have a string, but we supply the data with the integer, right? So we have to convert integer value to the string value in this line, and we have to do the same here, integer value to the string value as expected. So for this purpose we have to use simple conversion. Let's use integer class and select toString method for this class, from this class. I guess this is what we need. And the same here. So wrapper class integer dot toString and string will be created with a random number. So if you press the project again, let's see what happened. So the number will get the numbers 6-1. Activity method on create is called again, and that's why you have a new number every time when you rotate activity. Okay. So right now we have to implement click. So the click should be implemented by attaching listener to both buttons. Okay, so let's go to create listener for the buttons. So we go into activity main XML, press on the button on the left, and find the properties on click, and write on click method. The same here. I'm going to use the same onClick method, as I want to write code that will be uniquely serving two buttons. And then I go into the text XML representation, press on the onClick method, wait for bulb, and click or press Alt Enter to create onClick view in main activity. So before proceed, we move declaration of data model on the class level. So there will be data model, and in onCreate we call constructor for the model variable. So model assigned to new data model. So in this case, the constructor for this class will be executed. In this case, just this default one. So this is the change that we need to do before proceed and access model inside onClick. So in onClick, first of all, we will check the instance of the button. So we create a button variable temp and assign to the parameter view. So you know in Android, it's every widget is a view, and we convert actually the view widgets from view class to button to get access to the view as a button. And then we can get a text from the button title. How to get text? So we can use string, for example, txt using temp variable dot and get text. In this case, we don't need to do anything but only conversion. It said cast to Java length string. So apparently the text that is coming from the button is not this type. So we have to provide this casting first. To get a right answer from the model and convert to string, because we need to compare two strings, not strings and int, right? So we need to do the following. We need to get answer from the model, this method, then call integer to string method to convert to string. And having two string right now, we need to compare them. So for comparison, we can use if statement. If txt dot equals to answer. So in this case, we have to display toast message. Toast dot myText, this comma, the message we can say correct, and the last we need to say how long we want the message to be displayed. Toast dot long. Let's make it long. And what is the most important, after this three parameters, we have to show the message. Without calling show, the message will be not showing in the panel. So, and finally we need to increase the points. So let's create here the variable points, int points initially 0. So also let's create a text view that will be responsible for this display the points. Text view result. In onCreate we have to initialize result find view by id r dot id dot, and remember that should be the text that we use for result. Text rules, no, probably don't remember this. So I have to go back to activity main XML and check what is the name of the text view for results and the text number of points. Okay, so go back here and select to the dot number of points. All right. So we want number of points to be displayed the actual number of point integers. So we want to do this as well here. So what we have here, we have to use result dot set text. We need to set text to the points. The points. Remember we had the following format: points colon plus point. And now we got to increment points every time because the points should be counted properly. Okay, this is what happened when the text will be displayed with a number of points. So let's execute the code again and see what's happened if we choose the correct answer. So press 3, points 1, it's correct. So basically right now number is not changing because we have only static model. So first of all we will make alternative section. So I'll copy this section to clarity. So it will be not correct and points minus minus. So click again. So if you press the right button 8, correct points number 1, and the message, the temporary messages appear. If you press incorrect, not correct, and points is decreased. So if you basically press many times, probably we accumulate a certain number of points, and we want the game to stop when we get a 5 points. This is what we have to also do. And we need every time new numbers. So what to do in this case? In this case, we have to generate new numbers here. Let's go back after this, and using the same model class, we will use we'll call setNum, and setNum required parameter. So I will use probably setNum without parameters, right? Because we don't set number from in our model. We will delete setNum1 and set2 because we get a number randomly. Sorry about this. So just small change here. Model dot setNum2. Okay. So in this case, this change will give us new numbers every time. So we have to do one more stuff here. Model dot set answer, because it's not going to be automatic. So the same modification required. So go to data model, and it's not required to have argument for set answers, because in our case this will be done automatically. Okay, so let's try again. Okay, 1 9, press 9, correct. 2 3 plus 3, correct. Press 4 0, correct. So right now we're going to answer in wrong way. So press 2 will decrease points and message not correct. So again, not correct will go 1. Finally, we can go in negative values, just pressing again not correct. So what to do if you have two equals numbers? So this should be also resolved. Since we press any of them, it will be counting as correct number. So we need to know that both numbers not the same. I guess it's a small modification should be done for data model. So what we need to do here, modify the model for the constructor. While true, generate number second, and if num1 is not equal to num2, break. So in this case, maybe it's not the best solution, but this endless loop will be only generate numbers until number 1 is not equal to num2. And the same we want to get the game to stop when you get 5 points, right? So since we're dealing with this logic in main activity, so the points, once you get 5 points, we have to stop the game. So what we can do here, we can check it here. If points equal to 5, we can create a message, something like this. So you won the game. It will be the final message, and we can make points 0, so the game could be reused. And it will be else statement for the rest. Okay, so let's hopefully run the last time to check how the model works. So it will be you win the game. Sorry, you not will, you win the game. It's a small change. Anyway, 1, 4. 3, 3. I don't know how 3 is possible, shouldn't be possible. 4, 4, 9. Yeah, now we get a message in the game. Still don't understand why you have why I have similar numbers. The similar numbers probably generated because of because we don't check them again here, right? So that's why we have it. So let's make in our model works for 100 numbers. And in this case will be guaranteed that that's not easy to generate the same number again, right? So we'll change number to the bound 100, 58, 8, 8, 9, 8. And the last message, you will say you won the game, and the message will be restarted again from 0 point. So it's because we generated number from constructor and we check this, we can make the same loop here. The random number will never appear again, right? So that number will be working slightly different. Oh no, we get the same numbers again. And in data model, we probably also change the bound to 100. Will be better. Run again. $70, correct. $52, correct. 46, incorrect. 66, correct. 45, correct. 3 points. 72, correct. 4 points. 58, correct. 5 points. And since I need to press to check 5 again, only after this I will get you in the game. Probably that should be a little fix. In this case I have to check probably after. So feel free to create your own implementation. Don't try to do absolutely the same. But it would be a good idea if you create, if you separate model view controller like we did in this tutorial. Thanks a lot.